Hello there, cats and kittens, and welcome back to CrunchyLand. Today, we're going to be playing around with mud. Okay, so I've come outside to demonstrate a couple things. First, as you saw downstairs, we can take mud, or take dirt, add a water bottle, and you have mud. But it's not just the player that can do this. You can do it with a dispenser too. So put a water bottle in a dispenser, apply it, and you have mud. And that's going to be the basis of our farm today. With mud, we can make mud bricks, packed mud. Mud bricks can make slabs, stairs, and walls. Or you can take the mud itself and drop it down on dripstone with a pointed dripstone underneath, like this right here. And it eventually dries out. When it does, it becomes a block of clay. So if you break clay with a silk touch shovel, you get a block of clay. If you use a fortune shovel or your hand, you'll get clay balls. Clay and clay balls can both be used in a furnace. And clay will produce terracotta, where clay balls makes bricks. Terracotta can make all the different colored terracotta blocks when you add dye to them. And bricks can be used to make bricks, which can then be turned into brick walls and stuff. They can also be used to make decorated pots and flower pots. So I've carved out a little space over here for our farm. We're going to start by making a piston pusher to move the blocks around. So let's come a few blocks away, 1, 2, 3, let's say 4. And let's give ourselves about 7 space back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And right there's where we want to start. So here, we'll take a redstone torch, drop it in, a piece of dust, a target block, and a piston. And that's all we need in order to make a simple block pusher. As the block comes in, the redstone signal is sent across to here, it's routed around, and now we can make a line of dirt. So we're going to come behind here. This will push out to 12 blocks. Let's leave 2 spaces, and we can create a row of pistons starting right there. We'll use this later in order to make a big slab of mud. Now right now, we're still not making mud, so we need to add that dispenser and a water bottle in here. But we don't want to keep filling this up with water bottles. So our next step is to build a system that will take out the empty water bottle from here, the empty glass bottles, and fill them with water and bring them back around. In order to do that, we'll create an item filter underneath, which will pull out our used glass bottles. We'll drop them down and bring them around through a water spout and refill them with another dispenser down below. So let's start by creating our filter down here. Boop, we'll drop down. So need 3 spaces there. This will be our hopper line coming down. This will all make sense in just a moment. We're going to take a repeater, drop it in here. A block there. Put some dust on it. That will carry a signal from above. A torch, which will activate this one and lock the piston coming in. And then we'll want a dispenser to shoot water out and then bring it around. So let's think about where we want that water to come up while we go up top and build the rest of our filter. In order to build a filter, we want to look at that hopper, read the signal that's coming out of it, and pass that down. So that will connect over, it'll hook in to the repeater down below. When that repeater is activated, this torch will turn off and items can flow down into the hoppers we're going to add in. We'll start by putting a few spacer items that I've renamed in an anvil so they're unique. And then in a minute, we'll put in a stack or so of items here to filter down to our bottom dispenser. So now, where do we want our water to come up? Well, we want it to flow eventually into this dispenser. So let's start by putting a hopper there. And let's create a line here. And I believe we can go down right here. So let's prep that and see what that looks like. Yep, that looks about right. This we'll mark it for ourselves. And we want our dispenser line to come through and output there. So let's take our next dispenser. We can place it here or somewhere above. Our hoppers are going to come down from there. In order not to use too many hoppers, let's go ahead and attach it, let's say right up here. Let's give it one more block just in case this is interfering as that gets powered on and off. Actually, let's bring it all the way down to here. That'll give us an opportunity to make a nice pretty line. Oh, it's nighttime. I'll be right back. Okay, I've slept the night away, and I went and grabbed a piece of soul sand on my way through. And I want to make a run, like a small tube here that items will flow up through. This will get powered as the dispenser gets powered, so we don't want to put a trapdoor there. We should be okay everywhere else. And let's use our stone to make a joint up top. Alright, now we need to just take a hopper line from here up. And I think the best way to do it is to go there, here, and then on up. Now we have a hopper line for our glass bottles to come down through. Clean that up a little bit. We want to take our glass bottles from here and send them on back up. Actually, let's move our hopper line just slightly. Because I want space on this side to take a reading so we know when something's in this dispenser. We'll amplify that. Put a brick here so we know that brick is useful and we don't want to lose it. Then we'll use our target block again. And some dust through here. Set that to subtract mode. And my big question now is, when this activates, are these going to flap? So let's give it a test. Let's put a couple of dirt in here. And it is. Alright. So let's mimic the joint up top down here with some of those bricks. That shouldn't flap anymore. Let's give that a whirl. Alright. Our items are getting dispensed out of here and into the soul sand. Now we just need to bring them up. In order to bring them up, we are going to add some water up top, let it flow down, and create that flowing water, turn the flowing water into water sources with kelp. So here we go. Water here. Let's go down with our kelp. Come all the way back up. And now as soon as we break the kelp at the bottom, this will all turn into source blocks and become a bubble column. All right. So now we have an elevator that comes up. Can we put a trapdoor above here? Let's find out. And my big question now is, will that flap while we activate the dirt pusher? Oh, this looks good. I didn't hear any water leakage. We're in a good place. So now this dispenser will hold 9 water bottles. And this will hold 5. So that's a total of 14. In order for our item filter to work, we'll need to have 41 in here, in this spot. I have a bunch of glass bottles, and we're going to add them to our item filter. And the ones we don't use are going to go down, run into the filter, and come back around as full water bottles. So we'll fill up this dispenser and that hopper. Oh, and it looks like I miscounted. It had a couple extras. That's okay. We'll drop those off here. And we now have a system to make automated mud. And this will continue to refill with water bottles. So that's our first stage, and that'll give us a line of mud all the way across. In order to push it this way, we'll replicate this circuit on the other side. So we'll need a repeater, a torch, a bunch of these target blocks, and some redstone. So our last line of blocks will be here, right? This pushes for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll take out this block, put a stone here, a repeater there. This ordering is important. If we put this redstone torch on the opposite side, I'll show you what happens there. So where we put this torch matters. If we put it on this side, then when a mud block comes through and activates it, it'll short out. So we put the torch on the opposite side so that when a block comes through and powers it, it stays powered. We add in this repeater in order to give enough signal strength for each of these pistons to fire. And we'll come along behind here using target blocks that'll extend the signal. It will transfer from the line through the target blocks into the pistons and push everything forward. So let's go through and see if we can't get our first line of blocks to work. Ta-da! We now have a working mud farm. So I'm going to hang out here for a while and use the mud farm. So that's our farm working. Thanks for coming along with me today. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye.